Okay, so this video is just to show you how to write equations. So and this is strictly for linear equations, which is all that we're doing here in 8th grade. So there are two parts of the equation that you need in terms of a value. All right, so the first thing that you need is the starting value, okay? Where is y when x equals 0? What is our y value equal to? And that, more mathematically, is called a y-intercept. And the other value that you'll need is your rate of change, or your unit rate. How much is this scenario changing each one time? So, for example, if you are told that a starting value, so there is, let's say, $400 in your bank account to start. And you start babysitting, and every week you get paid $25. So this now is your starting value, and this is your rate of change, because that's happening every 1 week. So in order to figure out how much money is in your bank account, you start with your $400, and then you add, because it's an increase of $25 every week. Well, we need to represent that the number of weeks might be changing. That is one of our variables here. So every week, we multiply by x, and we get the number in our bank account, okay? This is our independent and dependent variables. So we'll just say that x equals number of weeks, and y equals total in bank account. Okay, now, you're not always going to find linear situations that are increasing. Sometimes a situation might be decreasing. So let's say that when we start, we have, let's say my money this time. Let's say I start with $1,000 in my bank account. Okay, but then I have to pay my bills. So every month I spend, I'm going to represent with a minus, $100 on bills. Okay, so here's how much I have when we start, and then here is my rate of change. Okay, so when I start, I had $1,000, and then I have to take away $100 every time. So depending on how many months pass, that will determine how much money is in my bank account. And in this case, x is equal to the number of months this time, because I spend $100 on bills every month, and the y is equal to the total money in my accounts. Okay, so when you see a table, if you have a table of values, x, y, whenever you have to figure out what x is in order to figure out your starting value. That number there will be your starting value, or more mathematically, your y-intercept. You might have to figure out what this 0 is by yourself by applying your rate of change. So by that, I mean if this table goes up by a number that is not 1, you can't just say, oh, it adds 50 each time, so my rate of change is 50. You have to figure out what it's changing every time. What if there was a 1 in here, a 3 in here, a 5 in here, to go by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if an increase of 50 is for an increase for 2 times, then every one time will be 25, and that is your rate of change. So you might have to figure that out as well. So please be mindful of those things as you are writing your equation.